The date is April 1st, 1990, and WrestleMania 6 is taking place at the Sky Dome in Toronto. Over 67,000 fans are in attendance. The stadium is electric, a sea of faces illuminated by flashing lights and the glow of anticipation. Suddenly, the unmistakable sight of a 6'7" 330-pound mountain of a man emerges. Big Boss Man strides down the aisle, his blue uniform crisp and his mirrored sunglasses reflecting the crowd's mix of fear and admiration. He carries himself with the authority of a man who's used to commanding respect and getting it. As he climbs into the ring to face his opponent, the atmosphere is thick with excitement. There's no doubt in anyone's mind. This is a performer at the height of his powers. The bell rings. Big Boss Man immediately demonstrates why he's one of the WWF's most formidable stars. His combination of size, agility, and raw power is on full display. He throws his opponent, Akeem, around like a ragdoll, his signature moves executed with brutal efficiency. Each impact echoes through the arena, a testament to his physical dominance. But it's more than just his physical presence that makes Big Boss Man a star. It's the way he embodies his character. Every insult, every taunt, every moment of brutality reinforces his persona. He's not just playing a role, he is the Big Boss Man. As he stands victorious over Akeem, arms raised in triumph, Big Boss Man is at the pinnacle of his career. He's a key player in the WWF's golden age, a time when larger-than-life characters captured the imagination of millions. His feud with Hulk Hogan is fresh in everyone's minds, and his future seems limitless. But how did Ray Traylor, a boy from Marietta, Georgia, become this wrestling icon? To understand the Big Boss Man, we need to go back to the beginning. Born on May 2nd, 1963, Ray Washington Traylor grew up in a world far removed from the glitz and glamour of professional wrestling. Marietta, in the 1960s and 70s, was a place of transition, caught between its small-town roots and the growing influence of nearby Atlanta. For young Ray, it was a place of opportunity and challenge. From an early age, Traylor stood out, quite literally. By his teens, he was already well over 6 feet tall and built like a linebacker. His size made him a natural athlete, but it was his work ethic that truly set him apart. Friends and family recall a young man who was always pushing himself, always striving to be better. This drive led Traylor to pursue a career in law enforcement. After graduating high school, he joined the Cobb County Sheriff's Department. It was here, working as a corrections officer, that the seeds of his future wrestling persona were planted. The experience gave him a first-hand look at the harsh realities of the criminal justice system, an understanding that would later lend authenticity to his in-ring character. But Traylor's ambitions extended beyond the prison walls. He had always been a fan of professional wrestling, and his imposing physique seemed tailor-made for the sport. In 1986, at the age of 23, he decided to take a leap of faith and pursue his dream. Traylor's entry into professional wrestling came through Jim Crockett Promotions. Initially performing under his real name, Traylor quickly made an impression with his raw power and surprising agility for a man of his size. It was when he adopted the persona of Big Bubba Rogers that he truly began to shine. As Big Bubba, Traylor became an intimidating heel, engaging in high-profile feuds with some of the biggest names of the era, including Dusty Rhodes and the Road Warriors. His performances caught the eye of wrestling promoters across the country, including none other than Vince McMahon. In 1988, Traylor made the jump to the World Wrestling Federation. It was here that he would become a legend. McMahon, always with an eye for characters that could capture the public's imagination, saw something special in Traylor. Together, they crafted the persona that would define Traylor's career, the Big Boss Man. His first major feud was with Hulk Hogan, the biggest star in professional wrestling at the time. This wasn't just a baptism by fire. It was a clear signal that the WWF saw big things in Big Boss Man's future. The feud with Hogan showcased all of Big Boss Man's strengths. His impressive physical presence made him a credible threat to the seemingly invincible Hulkster, but it was his character work that truly set him apart. Big Boss Man brought an intensity and believability to his role that was rare, even in the iconic era of 1980s wrestling. As his character evolved, so did his role in the WWF. He formed a tag team with Akeem, known as the Twin Towers. This duo soon became embroiled in a high-stakes rivalry with the formidable alliance of Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage, known as the Mega Powers. At WrestleMania 5, the Twin Towers' decisive victory over the Rockers catalyzed their ascent in the tag team hierarchy, precipitating a protracted and intense struggle with the reigning champions, Demolition. This rivalry played out throughout the spring and early summer of 1989, showcasing the evolving dynamics of tag team wrestling. Meanwhile, Bossman's rivalry with Hogan reached its zenith in a series of grueling steel cage matches, culminating in a particularly memorable confrontation during the 21st edition of Saturday Night's Main Event. Hogan's championship hung in the balance in a spectacle that epitomized the era's penchant for high-stakes, physically demanding encounters. One of the most significant developments of Big Jibber Man's career unfolded during the February 24, 1990 episode of Superstars. He underwent a face-turn jabber by a Machiavellian scheme orchestrated by the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. Jibber had enlisted Slick to commission Bossman's services in recovering the stolen $1 Million Championship belt from Jake Roberts. In a twist of fate, Bossman's retrieval mission jabber not only the coveted belt, but also Roberts' serpentine companion, Damien. The saga played out on the Brother Love show, where Bossman, in a display of newfound integrity, spurned DiBiase's financial jabber and returned the bag's contents intact to a grateful Roberts. This act of principle not only endeared Bossman to the audience, but also set the stage for a compelling character evolution, demonstrating the nuanced storytelling that defined the era's most engaging narratives. His WrestleMania 6 victory over former partner Akeem was just one highlight in a career filled with memorable moments. He reconciled with Hogan and appeared in his corner during the match against Earthquake at SummerSlam 1990. The once-hated villain became a fan favorite, reforming his character and standing up against his former allies. This transition showcased Traylor's versatility as a performer. He maintained the tough, no-nonsense aspects of his character while adding dimensions of honor and justice. He soon entered into a heated rivalry with Bobby Heenan and his faction, sparked by Heenan's relentless insults toward Bossman's mother. This conflict culminated in a series of victories for Bossman against Heenan. Family members throughout 1991, including notable triumphs over the Barbarian at the Royal Rumble and a disqualification win against Mr. Perfect at WrestleMania 7 in an Intercontinental Championship match that saw Andre the Giant's surprise return. Next came SummerSlam, where Bossman emerged victorious in the WWF's first and only jailhouse match against the Mountie. This contest, designed to determine the promotion's true law enforcer, saw the loser sentenced to spend a night behind bars. Big Bossman then found himself feuding with his former ally, Nails. This rivalry allowed Bossman to delve deeper into his backstory, defending his real-life career in law enforcement against Nails' accusations of corruption and brutality. It was a storyline that blurred the lines between reality and fiction, a hallmark of the best wrestling angles. In 1993, Traylor transitioned to World Championship Wrestling, WCW, debuting as The Boss on the December 18th episode of WCW Saturday Night. He made a strong impression by pinning the International World Champion, Rick Rude, in a non-title match. However, due to legal complaints from the WWF about the similarity of The Boss to Big Boss Man, Traylor was eventually renamed the Guardian Angel. In early 1995, he turned heel and was once again known as Big Bubba Rogers. 3 years later, after his WCW release in 1998, Traylor decided to rejoin the WWF. He reprised the persona of Big Boss Man but updated his look, trading in his classic blue uniform for SWAT-style attire. His character became darker, aligning with the edgier tone of WWF programming at the time. In this new iteration, Big Boss Man became a key member of Vince McMahon's corporation stable. This role allowed him to return to his heel roots while showcasing his ability to work with a new generation of stars.